Yes, guys, I stayed up again to watch Game of Thrones episode 5 of season 8. To be honest with you, I wasn't really that bothered anymore. I don't give a f*** what happens now at the end. I literally don't give a f*** what happens in the finale. They've ruined it. They've absolutely ruined the best TV show ever created. And yeah, it's simply because the books aren't finished and they are doing this for TV land. It's almost like, again, and I'm sick of saying this, I said this with Avengers as well, it's like all the characters have been given to somebody who knows none of their history, none of their powers, and has been told to write a whole series. And they're making a right mess of it. The characters that the people are, the arcs, if you like, make no sense. Absolutely no sense. I mean, let's start with, well, where do we start with this? The horse. Let's start with a fucking horse. What the fuck? That horse. The horse scene. The horse scene in Arya. I mean, why was she even there? Why was she even in this? I mean, what the fuck? Honestly, guys, I don't even know where to start. This is just, I haven't any notes, or this is all just off the top of my head. It'll be all over the place. There's going to be nothing visually to see here, so you can just minimise it and go and do something else if you just want to listen to me bloody rant about it. It's more of a podcast, this, but let's look at Jaime Lannister. Let's deal with him first. So Jaime Lannister goes back to King's Landing. Why? Why is he going back to Cersei? He knows what she is. He knows exactly what she is now. He's he's softened. I mean, if you watch the first episode, the first series when he's fighting Ned and all, he's a bastard. He's a complete arrogant bastard, he is. And over the years, he mellows. He starts to see the real evil in Cersei, and you can just see that. I love the way his character kind of went from really being a smart-ass bastard, and it's softened, and then he eventually ends up with Brienne, and he knights her and he screws her, and it's like, yeah, Jaime's done the right thing. He's come north. He's fighting against the Night King. And then all of a sudden it's like, right, thanks for the shag. Thanks for the battle. Now I'm going to go back off to me. I mean, what? Oh, I shouldn't ring bells. You'll go insane with bells. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense at all. He gets captured. Tyrion just comes in and frees him. That was alright, I guess. And then he goes down to be with Cersei. And who does he bump into on a beach? Who just happens to be there? The only guy that survived just comes ashore at that exact little tiny fucking point. Euron Greyjoy, yes. And so what do? They have a fight in which Euron clearly wins, and he gets him twice, and one of them is a real deep wound that would have killed him in under 5 minutes. He stabs Jaime twice, and 10 minutes later, Jaime's just limping. He's fucking limping. He's limping. He's limping. Because clearly when you get stabbed twice through the fucking abdomen, you're gonna limp. Don't ring the bells, Mac. You'll go mad. It's the fucking hell. And then Euron looks at the camera. It was me who killed Jaime Lannister. Varys. One of my favourite characters. Varys. So, who's Varys' best friend? Tyrion. Who's Tyrion's best friend? It's Varys. They are so alike. They are the two wise people of Game of Thrones. They really love each other. So it made absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever for Tyrion to go and shop him to Dany. Why would he do? He wouldn't do that. He literally wouldn't have done that. And then it ends so fast. It's like, I'm Daenerys Targaryen, breaker of chains, killer of women and fucking children and everything else that's crawled on this motherfucking earth. DRACARYS. It's just, what the fuck? That's it. That was the scene over. No kind of, how could you do this? Remember when I said that if you betrayed me, I would burn you, blah, blah, blah. There was none of that. It was just, DRACARYS. 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 Arya. She goes to King's Landing with the Hound. She goes there to kill Cersei Lannister. Fair enough. Hound's going there, unfinished business with bro. Fair enough. They travel all the way from Winterfell, and it's a long way. through the snow, go through the battle lines, sneak through, go through the rubble of the fight, get all the way into the actual Red Keep where Cersei is, the same building as Cersei. And then the Hound says, you shouldn't really be here. And Harry goes, yeah, you're right, I'm going to f*** off. See ya. Oh, the f*** off. F*** off, man. What the f***? Are you insane? Are you insane? And so Arya just f***s off. And she just runs back through the bloody city while it's burning. And then she sees a horse. A horse, of course, a horse, of course. Mac, don't ring the bell, you go mad. And then the horse, it's like slow motion, and she's like, and then she gets on the horse and rides out. What was the what the fuck? And now, guys, let's look at Dany. This is the person who, out of all the characters in Game of Thrones, she cares more about the innocent people. You see that season after season after season. She gets angry at anybody who is cruel to women, especially women and children. You see that countless times through the seasons of Game of Thrones. Remember when the Dothraki were going around and raping and pillaging? She stopped all that. She stopped it. She cares so much that she even locked her dragons up when they burnt that child when they got away, and they were just kind of going rogue a little bit, and they ate that kid. They burnt him, and the guy came before, and he was like, "This is what your dragons have done." And she actually locked her own dragons up in the bloody dungeon because of that. She crucified the masters because of what they did to the slaves. She is the breaker of chains. She is for the people like nobody else is in Game of Thrones. But not not in this episode. No, she's attacking King's Landing with her Unsullied, who don't seem to have suffered any losses since the long night, and neither have the Dothraki. And so, yeah, there's the big fight, and the big fight itself was ridiculous. Let's just cast our minds back to when that Rhaegar died. There was, handful of ships with a handful of scorpions, and they hit Rhaegar twice. That was that. End of that dragon. Or was it even 3 times? I think it was 3 times they hit the dragon. And if you remember back to when the dragon first fought in Westeros against the wagon train, it got hit then. And that was with 1 scorpion. She attacks King's Landing. Every fucking 20 yards on the battlements of the actual city walls, there is a scorpion. There is a whole harbour full of ships, all equipped with scorpions. All of them miss. Patch notes. Drogon buffed by 100%. Scorpions nerfed by 100%. There you go. That's what's fucking happened in episode 5. Unbelievable. And also as well, how come fire now melts walls? Because if you remember back when Jon Snow in the big fight at Winterfell, he was hiding behind rocks from the dragon fire, and now it's melting the rocks. I mean, what the fuck in the hell? But anyway, let's get to the actual big thing with Dany. She goes mad. The Mad King, all the way back to episode 1, season 1. Remember the Mad King? Yeah. Well, Dany is the Mad King. She's turned into the Mad Queen, rather. Why? Because reasons. We don't have any reasons, but yeah, she's now mad. She's now mad. And I don't know whether it was the bells. I don't think it was the bells. I mean, why would bells... I think she just saw the Red Keep, and I think that was it. That sent her over the top. Which was totally out of character for her. She wasn't going mad. She was getting a bit power happy. Of course she was. She's desperately wanting that... the Iron Throne. I mean, she's wanted it all the time, and it's now so close, so she's getting a bit excited, bless her. She's getting a bit excited. That's fine. But she isn't the killer and burner of women and children. She's never been that. She's never been close to that. She has always been for the people. And so when she sees that all the battlements have been destroyed, the Lannister army's been defeated, the bells is ringing for surrender, everything has happened perfectly, it couldn't have gone better, she would be rejoicing on the back of Drogon. She wouldn't be going, I want to kill all these little children and the women, we're going to burn them all. DRACARYS. But obviously, the writers thought that that would be good. What the fuck? I'm sorry, absolute trash. And finally, we have the death of Jaime Lannister and Cersei. That was the worst bit for me. I've wanted to see her captured, tortured, publicly humiliated, and then slowly executed for probably the best part of 7 years, as has pretty much every other Game of Thrones fan. And what happens? A building falls on her. A building falls on her. It's just her and Jaime cuddling, building, death. We've been deprived of her death. And that sucks. That really does fucking suck, guys. There's more, but I just don't even want to talk about it. I don't give a fuck what happens next week. Honestly, I don't care if the fucking Smurfs come out of the fucking sewers of King's Landing and they get on the Iron fucking Throne. I don't give a shit anymore. I really fucking don't. I don't give a shit, but I'll tell you my prediction. Do you know where this is all going? I'll tell you my prediction. My prediction for next week's episode is that Tyrion is going to kill Dany with a knife in the back, just like Jaime killed the Mad King. Tyrion's going to kill the Mad Queen, and it's going to go full circle, because these kind of people that write this kind of shit, they love anything like that, and it's going to go full circle, and Jon's going to sit on the throne, or Jon will get killed off Dany, and that's why Tyrion will then kill Dany. It's just, who cares? Do you know what? I don't give a fuck. So there you go, guys. Game of Thrones. If you want to watch it, if you've never watched Game of Thrones, stop watching after Series 6, because it goes rapidly downhill. Season 7 was trash. Not as trash as 8. It wasn't trash, it just wasn't that good compared to the rest of them. But Season 8 is a fucking disgrace.